our life.
Amazing. Thanks, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Uh, Welcome to everyone who is joining our monthly call today, December 18th, 2024. Happy holidays. Um, let's hope I don't have that happening. Hold on one second. There we go. Whew. We appreciate you taking your time out of your busy holiday season to join us for some of these end of year community updates. Today, we're going to go over a few things. We're going to share a brief preview of the Mozilla rebrand relaunch, which will be rolling out in earnest this coming year. We'll talk about the Digital Markets Act campaign, which is an opportunity for our EU users to help us hold Apple accountable for their browser choice screens. We'll share a brief look back on 2024, um, along with some reflections on how it started and how it's going. And lastly, we're going to go over some important updates and things to look forward to in 2025. Um, awesome. For those of you who are new to the call, welcome. Each month we gather to to talk about all things Sumo, our support at Mozilla community. And that can include everything from product releases, community events and activities, trends and insights, contributor spotlights, and whenever possible, we bring experts from Mozilla here to dig into deeper topics. We don't have a product release update to share with you today, but we do have a preview of some important dates to look forward to in Q1 in the coming year. And here's a rundown of all the ways that you can participate in this call. You can be an active participant by RSVPing via the community. That way you can join us live on Zoom and engage with participants. You can submit a question in advance. Each month we put a call out for questions in the contributor forum. And if you can't attend live, you can always watch the replay, where we'll also share a brief recap and with some notes and key takeaways on the wiki. And last but not least, we send a feedback survey around after, and your feedback is incredibly important to us. Let us know how we can make this call more valuable and beneficial for you too. Yeah, okay, awesome. And today we're talking about all things community. So Kiki and I will be your hosts from Mozilla. So warm welcome to those of you who joined on the call and from Mozilla and the community. Happy holidays once again. Um, And I always like to ground ourselves in just reminding us why we're here. Mozilla's support is powered by a community of volunteers and employees from around the world who help people get the most out of our platforms. And we are so appreciative of all that you do. Together, we accomplish a lot. Today, we'll walk through some of those accomplishments and reflections. And today's prompt is a bit of a reveal. If you haven't seen the Mozilla rebrand, please take a look. The team shared an overview of the new design system on our blog. We'll link to the post on our agenda after. We would love to hear from all of you. What comes to mind when you see the new logo? Pointing to it right there. I encourage you all to jump in the chat, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and share your impressions of the new logo. And while you do that, I'll share some fun facts about this new design system. First, if you said T-Rex, you're right. And if you didn't, you're also right. This symbol is intended to be iconic, universal, and adaptable. I'm going to quote from the blog post here to share more context into what the brand team was working to accomplish with the new system, because it coming straight from them. We intentionally designed a system aptly named Grassroots to Government that ensures our brand resonates with our breadth of audiences, from builders to advocates, change makers to activists. It speaks to grassroots coders developing tools to empower users, government officials advocating for better internet safety laws, and everyday consumers looking to reclaim control of their digital lives. One more quote. With our Reclaim the Internet promise, a strategy built with Design Studio in 2023, the new brand empowers people to speak up, come together, and build a happier, healthier internet, one where we can all shape how our lives online and off unfold. Love that. I think it's very well presented on the blog, the whole backstory and history of how this came together. So it's a flag symbol, and it represents our activist spirit, where you'll also find the M for Mozilla in there too. The word marks and typefaces are bold. The fonts allow for greater degrees of expression across the brand experience, providing a unifying look and feel. Our icons will be inspired to reflect the black flag symbol too. So the rollout of the new branding is already underway. You can learn more about this on our blog and Mozilla homepage. We'll also keep you posted on how this shows up across our channels in the coming year. So more to come on this. Awesome. So I'll shift topics again and talk about this important EU-based campaign we recently shared on our channels to support the Digital Markets Act. What is that? So the Digital Markets Act is the EU's law to make markets in the digital sector fairer and more contestable. And so to comply with this, Apple launched some new browser choice screens, but received some scrutiny for the application. They committed to relaunching their iOS and iPad OS browser choice screens to EU users with their latest OS update. And we launched a campaign to hold them accountable. So what we're doing is we're asking EU iOS users to support the campaign by taking screenshots of the browser choice process and sharing them with us, especially if there's any friction or issues that they find with it. You will find more details about how to do this, plus a survey where you can enter your screenshots in for the team on our campaign page. We really appreciate all the support and participation we can get here. We are committed to holding them accountable, and we will continue to advocate for this on our side too. So thank you for those who have already participated too. This will be running through early January. Awesome. And here is a look back on 2024. And I want to acknowledge it is nearly impossible to distill all of the incredible work that happened behind the scenes this year. But I wanted to just also say this was kind of a really big year for the support team. Our team grew. We saw several new faces join this year, and then parental coverage come on board to support our new parents too. This allowed us to bring new energy and focus to our work this year. And with that, we were able to accomplish a lot. We made over 20 platform updates to Kitsune that continued with our focus, which is to deliver an effective support experience, empower our contributors, and improve our reporting capabilities. We've kind of been singing this song all year, and it really came together towards the end of this year too. And that includes our ability to elevate the voice of our customers and community internally. You'll hear more about our voice of customer work in 2025 too. And I'll also acknowledge we shined a spotlight on our contributor community throughout the year. From FOSDEM to our 20th anniversary campaign, we celebrated our top contributors every step of the way. So we did have kind of like a big reboot this year, lots of renewed energy, lots of focus on like improving the platform and also shining a spotlight on the people who make it happen. And here's just like zoomed out view of like how much our contributors make an enormous difference across our channels, helping us manage over 42,000 forum answers, 2.6 thousand KB revisions, over 12,000 localization updates, 2.4K Twitter responses, 1.8K Play Store reviews. They're numbers, but they're such a big deal to us. We couldn't do what we do without your support. There are so many people to thank for helping us manage all this. But here are a few names to just shine a spotlight on some of the people who we call top contributors. Here you'll see a list of not only contributors by channel or top contributors by channel, but also, once again, these multi-channel contributors who distinguish themselves by being top contributors across more than one of our support channels. We're also highlighting here some of our contributors who received the highest helpfulness ratings by platform. So thank you, a million thanks to you all. I can't say this enough, but we really couldn't do what we do without your support and effort. So round of applause. It was kind of an amazing 2024 when you look at the numbers. We also shared some memorable moments this year, connecting at in-person events like FOSDEM and also across our channels over AMAs with our Firefox leadership team, which we did two this year, and participating in campaigns like the Firefox third-party installer campaign, and of course this browser choice campaign, all in support of our mission. Thanks for all of you who participated in these programs. We really appreciate your support. We want to do more of them. And your participation really helps us. And I'll just voice over this kind of like briefly, but Throughout the year, Kiki does these beautiful blog spotlights of our contributors. They're interviews, they're in depth, and they're led by her. And I wanted to just sort of showcase a little bit of like some of the great quotes and some of the sort of like motivations behind why our contributors are a part of our programs. Um, and like some of them spoke of the sense of community spirit they felt in helping others. Some of them shared their passion for being a part of our mission. And some shared how much they met genuinely good people and made friends through our programs. We really appreciate contributors sharing their stories with us. And cheers to fostering more of this goodwill and meaningful connections in 2025. Um, join us. Uh, Awesome. And I just also wanted to acknowledge some of the above and beyond moments from contributors that we also saw throughout the year, including the development of the Live Helper extension, which Danny Collin from our Thunderbird community presented on last month's call. This is a fantastic tool for contributors by contributors. Our local contributors also rallied to support us with an urgent request to translate the third-party installer campaign, which was an important investigation that the community bolstered through their efforts. And lastly, it's the eagle eyes of contributors like Noah, who saw something and said something, escalating a critical issue to the team, which our CEO also acknowledged to the wider Mozilla organization how important this contribution was and contributors are to keeping our channels safe, but also being able to help us in these moments. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Kiki to talk about some of the how the community vision and goals that we've been sort of working through this year. I think you're muted. There
Sure.
you go.
Yeah, I was trying to look for like Zoom settings so that we can allow people to join without having to log into Zoom. Some people flag that in the Matrix channel. Anyway, yes, vision, an update to our vision and goals for 2024. If you remember back then, I think it was around March, where I first shared this kind of like updates. Um, it was the time where when Constantina just joined the team, which is exciting since I was the only community manager for I don't know like 3 years or so. So it was really exciting to have somebody else joining the community team on CX. So at that time we decided to first like look through our community strategy and kind of like started kind of like updating our community strategy. And one of the things that we decided from that exercise is to kind of like broaden our impact more than support. So we want to do more like like product community type of activity. Um, on top of like the support efforts that we are already doing. So that is the background of what the areas of focus that we kind of like shared back then in March. So there are a few areas that we shared back then. The first one being the onboarding, um, because we understand the importance of this area. We want to have more contributors joining our team and make them stay. So that's why we add this, like area as part of our focus for 2024. The second one is recognition. Some of the work from this year you probably have known is are related to this kind of like effort on improving our recognition. And then there's also activities. We wanted to provide more opportunities for people to contribute beyond, like the existing offerings, like the forum and localization. So we wanted to do more than that. On engagement, we also wanted to kind of like provide a better way in delivering release information for our contributors. Um, like support is still our focus for these communities. So we wanted to make sure that our contributors know where to go to look for release information. So that is also a big focus for this year. Tool improvements. We wanted to identify priority bugs and small wins that we can tackle for this year from the perspective of the platform. Last but not least, there's also a community management part where we want to reduce time spent on manual and time-consuming tasks due to our limited resource. So if we can move forward with the next slide, please. So here's how here is where we are standing right now. We are at the end of 2024. We have some really good progress on some of these areas, but also we have made a decision to deprioritize some of it due to, again, like resources. So the first one, onboarding. There are a few kind of like initiatives and experiments that we identified at the beginning of the year as it relates to this area. However, unfortunately, they didn't make it into the prioritization exercise. So we didn't really do anything in this kind of like aspect. But I believe as we're planning, as we're, we haven't planned anything for 2025, but as we're thinking about 2025, onboarding is one of the things that we would like to tackle next year. On recognition, we have done a lot. I'm really happy about the contributor spotlight content that generates like a good amount of like conversations internally and also externally. Um, there's also like one particular content that noticed by the CEO, and Laura actually mentioned that in her CEO updates, weekly updates, like our internal weekly updates. So it's amazing to see that the like the leadership is like noticing what we are doing in the community. And there's also, we started the year by participating at Custom 2024. We presented a talk about 17 years milestone of the platform and also the community of Sumo. There's a recording of this presentation, I believe, so I'll probably share in the agenda. But there were also a few, like some Sumo contributors who are helping us volunteering in the Mozilla booth during FOSSUM 2024. So kudos to those folks. And of course, there's, like this recent 20th anniversary celebration of Firefox, where we participate in the cross-function effort to kind of like celebrate this milestone. There's a highlight about Sumo community in the blog post that the marketing team published around this celebration. And we also posted our own blog post around this, milestone as well. So check out the blog post if you haven't. We actually mentioned about sending out swag vouchers to top contributors. Some people already asked about that. However, um, we're really sorry. There are some kind of like challenges from the internal process that prevent us from giving an updates on this. Hopefully, next year we will have more to share on this. So yeah, finger crossed. Um, Activities. Let's move to that. So this year we are doing a lot. There were two AMAs that we kind of like participated. We held the first one. We also held the second one on Connect. So it was a huge thing. Like I don't think that we have been doing this for a while. So it's something that that is definitely worthy of celebration. That like the Firefox leadership is actually listening to our community. And there's also some kind of like community campaigns that we did this year. There are two. One of them is the DMA campaign that Andrea just shared. The other one is, if you remember, back then in June or July, we did a campaign around third-party installer where we asked community members to share linked they can find from their respective locale. Um, so that we can, like fix the download link from this, like third party distribution that are like allowing people to download Firefox. So that is a huge win. I know that a few websites that we have identified from that campaign have already updated their download link to point to our official link. So that is a huge win for our community. And then also there's like the DMA campaign that we are still running. Um, it is specific to EU, but also I believe we could benefit from having you share the this activity for more awareness for people. So far we've got like promising submissions. So thank you for all of you that have submitted their, like screenshots. Um, Also, there's also one more campaign that unfortunately we have to push to 2025, but that is something that we have been working on in Q4 as well. So more to come in January. But also we also invited a few number of like guest speakers from the internal team to kind of like show their project and also show their, like the things that they are working on our community call. So hopefully we will be able to invite more people next year. So if you have anyone that you wanted to hear from, let us know so we can put that in our radar and we can do the arrangement. Engagement, we did a huge refresh on our wiki release to kind of like include more information about like incidents or like known issues so that it will be easier for our contributors to like look for information about releases and also have one source of truth for everything released. I know that some of them have already shared in the forum, but also like it's not easy for people to like look for information in that fashion. So by having that information structured in a wiki, we have one source of truth for everything. So it's easier for like new contributors as well who just started to get into our community and probably they don't know where to go or feel shy about like asking in the forum. They can use that resource to look for the information that they're looking for. So yeah, tool improvements. There is one project that we are working this year around L10N, and its integration with, I believe, like machine learning tool. However, because that work is still ongoing, we haven't been able to share anything with our community because that was the expectation at the beginning of the year. We thought that we would be able to share something, but it turns out the work takes longer. So that is, I believe, something that we want to do in the next year once this project is taking shape, and we can and the team is ready to share with the community to test. So more to come in 2025. Community management, we have made significant improvements to our KB. So right now it's easier than ever to select a product topic and category. This is making the life of community on KB and also I believe of course the content team as well. So this is a huge milestone. And there's also the moderation tool that we recently launched. It it's not directly for the community, but it has significant implication to our team, and like our ability to deliver um, release report to the product team. So this is a huge milestone for our team, like for CX in general. Um, so yeah, I guess that's all 2024. It's a lot. So thank you for all of you who have made all of this work possible and have contributed in one way or another in this community. So thank you. That's all
Thank,
for me.
thank you, Kiki. Um, and with that, I'll just share a little bit about what's next, a little look ahead into some important dates and things to look forward to. That DMA campaign we're talking about is live. That'll be up through early January. So if you're an EU-based Mozillian, please join in. Our upcoming Firefox release dates will be January 7th, February 4th, and March 4th. We'll be doing some 2025 planning in January. So again, if you have feedback for us, you have burning questions, things you want to talk to us about, things you want to share with us, you have the survey after the call, but also for our contributors, you know where to find us. Our Q1 community calls will follow our Firefox releases pretty closely. So you have our next one on Jan 8th, February 5th, and March 5th. And we're already sort of doing some planning around guest speakers. So again, that survey's your friend if you want to like suggest we cover some specific topics in Q1. And then again, as I noted before, the Mozilla rebrand rollout is happening in the background, and we look forward to sharing more about how our community can activate around this. FOSDEM is happening in early February, and Kiki is deep in the planning process there. And what else? We hope to see more of you in 2025. Join our community, collaborate with us, connect with each other, participate in our programs. It's a great way to connect with each other and with the Mozilla team, and as you saw, the Firefox team as well. And yeah, we want to keep those communication lines open. So keep us in the loop, talk to us, tell us how we can improve this experience. We're always here, we're always listening. Um, and on another bright, shiny slide to remind us all that Sumo is this multi-channel experience, and we're always looking for ways to improve and expand our programs. That's what we're here for. And last but not least, here's a thank you from some of the key players behind the scenes who make all of this happen at Mozilla, who are so appreciative of all that you do to support our efforts too. We're incredibly grateful for the community support. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, a great end to 2024, which was a fantastic year. Thanks to all the new faces on the Sumo team. I'm one of them. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the team. What a fantastic group of people this is. On the inside, but also on the outside. We've had such a great experience with the Sumo community. Happy holidays. And thanks all. We'll see you in 2025. And with
Thanks,
that, I'll
everybody.
stop sharing my screen.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next year.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.